Welcome to the month of November, my friends. Remember how I said this month was gonna be stacked? Well, it sure is. In more ways than one. As you guys can tell, it's that time again where I get to make one of my favorite videos every single month, the Blu-ray haul, and I've got a stack of a grand total of 15 here, new releases and deals galore, and I can't wait to discuss a random stack of movies with you guys. And if you guys are new to the channel, I've got a lot of physical media related content to go along with my regular movie reviews and whatnot. If these sound like topics you're interested in discussing along with me, I would consider hitting that subscribe button down below as hard as you possibly can. This channel is on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Also, feel free, if you enjoy what you see today, feel free to hit that thumbs up button on your way out the door. That would be absolutely tremendous. It's really beneficial in helping me get this content out there. But without any further ado, you're gonna notice a pattern. I'm gonna bookend this with 2 DC films at the beginning and the end, but this is in no particular order as always. Starting off this big stack with a movie I egregiously left out of last month's haul. This is for all the Snyderverse fans out there. Zack Snyder's Justice League, the 4-hour epic conclusion to what many consider his trilogy: Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and then this. Honestly, I would call this his crowning achievement. This was so much fun to look back on. And I'll go ahead and leave a link to any movies that I have full reviews for down in the description box below. I definitely reviewed this one back in March, and I loved this movie. It's honestly the best DCEU movie, minus the last movie in this stack. We'll get to that. But yeah, if you don't own this in your collection and you're a Snyderverse fan, definitely pick this one up. Next one is a Disney movie, and I unbelievably did not have this one in my collection until now. 101 Dalmatians. This is the signature edition here, and I had to have this one, especially after picking up Cruella last month. She is one of the most despicable Disney villains out there. Definitely had to snag this one for my collection. And just all the puppies, they're so cute. Yeah, in case you couldn't tell, I'm a massive dog lover, so I had to have this one. Speaking of animated movies, this is a very underappreciated one. James and the Giant Peach from Henry Selick, who brought you The Nightmare Before Christmas. And of course, this one was based off of the famous novel by the late great Roald Dahl. I'm not gonna lie to you, this isn't my favorite adaptation of one of his books. The songs by Randy Newman in particular are very weak in my eyes. But you know what? This is still a stunning looking animation that I cannot wait to go back and revisit sometime soon. Speaking of stunning looking animations, Prince of Egypt. I cannot believe I did not own this film already. This is the film, in my eyes, other than Shrek, that put DreamWorks on the map back in the early 2000s. Such a cool atmosphere and such a cool looking movie as well. I really dig this. Super underrated. And up next is a blind buy, one I've never seen before, but I've definitely read the play that it was based on. The Odd Couple, starring Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon. Rest in peace, Neil Simon. You are an absolutely hilarious writer, and I can't wait to check out this version right here. The Odd Couple may be one of his most famous plays. Speaking of comedies, Wedding Crashers. This was a big one in the mid-2000s. Of course, you got Owen Wilson. Oh, wow. Have to do the impression every time. And you can't really go wrong with Vince Vaughn in the mid-2000s either. I believe he had just come off of Dodgeball around this point. I'm trying to look and see what year this was released. Yeah, back in 2005, right after Dodgeball, basically. This made a ton of money at the box office, too, so definitely looking forward to revisiting this at some point soon. Up next, we have another blind buy brought to you by Ron Howard, starring Mel Gibson. Ransom. Give me back my son! Yeah, that's the only scene that I've seen from it, but like, but I can't wait to go and check out this whole film in its entirety very soon. Speaking of blind buys, Sleepers. I pretty much just bought this based on this main cast alone. I mean, you have Kevin Bacon, Robert De Niro, Dustin Hoffman, a very young Brad Pitt as well. This looks like a sleeper hit, if you ask me. Sorry, bad pun. Only one for this video. Next up in the stack is Rounders, starring Matt Damon and Edward Norton. One of the better poker movies that's out there. I've only seen this like once or twice, but I remember really digging it. Definitely curious to go and revisit this at some point soon as well. As a big poker player especially, this is a movie I remember really resonating with me the first time I ever saw it. Brought back a lot of memories playing poker a lot with my grandparents, and that's how I actually learned to play poker, was from my pop. Yeah, definitely a lot of memories to be had with this. Can't wait to go back and revisit it again. now we're getting into the new releases that I am so excited to add to this collection. First up is The Nighthouse, one of the better directed horror films that come out this past year. This was a sleeper hit last summer. The ending is a little bit iffy on my part. I wish there was left to a little bit more ambiguity. I wish it was kind of left up to the audience's imagination how it all concluded, but there is no denying how effective this movie was. And Rebecca Hall, one of the best performances by a leading actress so far this year still. If you haven't seen The Nighthouse, cannot recommend it enough. Up next, the Target exclusive Space Jam: A New Legacy. I know. This is not the best movie you're gonna come across this year. LeBron James is certainly not an Academy Award winning actor by any stretch. He's an athlete first. And I get it. This is just a big giant commercial for all of the Warner Brothers properties in Ready Player One style. But I'm sorry, I could not help but have fun with this, especially as a fan of the first Space Jam, a humongous fan at that. And I bought the Target exclusive because, number one, why not? And number two, this was the best looking cover out of all the Blu-ray releases for this one. This one is the theatrical release poster, and it just looks cleaner, honestly. Next up, you want to talk about sleeper hits. Here's The Protege, directed by Martin Campbell. Maggie Q is such a badass in this. Michael Keaton and Samuel L. Jackson also turn in some very fun performances. Oh boy, you want to talk about fun? Old. You also want to talk about polarizing. A lot of people either loved this movie or they despised it. I'm personally somewhere in the middle on old. There were a lot of things that certainly annoyed me. But you know what? It's a new M. Night Shyamalan film. He's one of the most imaginative minds working right now. And honestly, I'll support any new project he has. However batshit insane it may be. Plus, Alex Wolff and Thomasin McKenzie in this provide some really amazing performances. Speaking of amazing performances, you have The Green Knight. I mean, this is just a really nice looking Blu-ray too. Nice and glossy. I find it funny how the logo, by the way, so the title is The Green Knight, but the logo is all in yellow letters and it's in a red case. No green anywhere to be found on this. But yeah, Dev Patel turns in what I think may be his best performance since Slumdog Millionaire, and David Lowery as a director is not given enough credit. He created such a beautiful looking film. These last two may be my favorite pickups in this haul, honestly. First up, Free Guy. I got the 4K version mainly because, you know, number one, again, why not? And number two, it just looks like the best cover out of all the releases. Ryan Reynolds in this movie, he just plays Ryan Reynolds, but you know what? He is so endearing and charming. Jodie Comer's really the one who steals the show in this. You might also remember her recently from The Last Duel. This is a coming out party year for Jodie Comer. I cannot wait to see what else she does, and Free Guy, one of the most fun theatrical experiences I had all year long. Speaking of fun theatrical experiences this year, last and certainly not least, The Suicide Squad. So stoked to add James Gunn's latest masterpiece into my collection here. I mean, there's just so many damn colorful characters in this. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn proves herself to be one of the greatest casting choices in a superhero movie. Maybe since Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. She is a perfect fit. Idris Elba as Bloodsport and my boy John Cena as the Peacemaker provide a lot of fun arguments. David Dastmalchian as the Polka Dot Man. The Ratcatcher too. I can't believe I didn't even mention her in my initial review of this. She was so awesome. And of course, King Shark. Bird. Identifying animals with Sylvester Stallone. How can you go wrong with that? And of course, who can forget that infamous opening scene on the island where all of those side characters bite the dust? Poor Weasel, man. But yes, James Gunn, please make a sequel to this. We are begging you. This was amazing. Speaking of amazing, guys, I mean, here's the haul one more time. This might be one of my favorite hauls I've ever done on this channel. Thinking about it, looking at what I got this month, I scored big time. But guys, as always, thank you all so very much for supporting the content up to this point. Again, just a last reminder, hit that subscribe button as hard as you possibly can and click on that notification bell so you don't miss a new upload from this point on. And hit that thumbs up button if you love what you see and you love discussing cinema just like I do. And as always, guys, stay tuned for more exciting content hitting this channel very soon. I will be reviewing The Harder They Fall, which is hitting Netflix later on this week. And I will also be checking out Eternals very soon. I cannot wait. But y'all are the best. I cannot thank you guys enough for your support up to this point. With all that being said, back talk, commence!